when you are in a relationship, partnership, friendship, or maybe even at work, when somebody has these kind of behaviors and the residual kind of thoughts or emotions that you're feeling is that you have to question yourself, like that isn't good, and this is a red flag. You know, you're just thinking, hold on, are they narcissistic? Are they being toxic? You know, you're constantly questioning yourself, but also their behaviors. This is a red flag, because if somebody is healthy, if somebody genuinely likes you for who you are, you're not going to feel like you have to, you know, match up or you have to compete with anybody. You shouldn't be feeling like that. So this is a huge red flag, guys. Like, this is something that I want you to note, that if you feel like you have to be in competition, or you have to constantly prove yourself, you constantly have to kind of validate yourself to that person, this is a huge red flag. That's not healthy behavior. So what I would say to you is don't doubt that, because that is obviously something that you're feeling. This is something that you are kind of going. We all find ourselves in these situations with a toxic individual where we just, you know, the push and pull, we just don't know whether we're coming or going. And this is indeed that trauma bond. And it is when we feel insecure, when we don't feel good enough, this is when we start to doubt ourselves, when we feel like what we are thinking or what we are sensing isn't right. So that's when we start to question our thoughts. We start to think, you know what, maybe I'm thinking the wrong thing. Maybe this really isn't happening the way that I think I am. But because I've been in a narcissistic relationship before, this can't be happening now. You know, I thought I've learned everything that I had to learn about these toxic individuals. But do you know what? We're always learning, okay? And it doesn't mean just because, you know, you've come out of this narcissistic relationship and you're wanting that kind of validation, you're kind of wanting, you know, somebody to be a companion, somebody to be there with you and for you. I mean, that feeling is amazing and we all crave it, and there's nothing wrong in wanting to be loved, in wanting to be accepted. You know, this is our human nature. This is what humans actually want. This is normal, this is healthy. It doesn't mean, you know, that you are toxic or you're selfish or you're vain, not at all. The way that it becomes toxic and narcissistic and vain is when it becomes pathological. It becomes a insatiable need that needs to be filled. But for us, you know, when we're healthy, we're human beings, this is something that we crave. This is something that is very normal. And why shouldn't we have that? Like, absolutely. It is something that we should have, and it's very healthy and normal to want it. And I think it's terribly brave of you to kind of say, like, I realized that I was insecure, that I have low self-worth, and that I have low self-esteem or low self-worth. I think to some respect we all kind of mirror that, where we lose ourselves in this situation, but we also don't trust ourselves. And that's why I always say in all of my videos, all of my content is, we've got to connect to ourselves. We've got to start to trust and get to know ourselves. And I think as children, we weren't taught that. And you know what? It's not even taught now, you know, in schools, or some parents don't even know that because they're not self-actualized. But the thing is, that's the past, all right? That's the past. That's what happened then. It doesn't mean that you have to be a product of the past, because we can change our future. We can change habits with neuroplasticity. And this is a proven fact. It's scientifically proven that you can do this. So you don't have to be a kind of a mirror of your past. And I think narcissistic people show up in our lives to kind of remind us that actually you are worth it. This is what happens when people don't see it, when they have problematic behaviors, where they have dysfunctional ego tendencies. You know, they deflect, they become somebody else. Like, that isn't who you are, and your needs are completely different. So yes, whilst at the time, you know, maybe you didn't have, you know, a good sense of self, or your self-worth was low, that doesn't mean that has to be your future. And that's why narcissistic people hang around, because they know that they can affect you in some way. Because our boundaries are low, we kind of also accept this, we kind of give them the benefit of the doubt that, could someone really be doing this? Is it really, really like this? You know, but the good thing is that you've realized, okay, and you're coming out of this, you know, covert narcissistic relationship. It's very hard to spot a covert, not gonna lie. And it's very hard to actually even spot a narcissist at the beginning, but when you realize that what they say is different to what they do, or what they do is different to what they say, you know, you get this sense that something's not right with this person, that the energy is a little bit off, you know, and that's how you realize, because your intuition or your gut feeling tells you that actually there's something not right going on here, and we have to listen to that. You know, you can recognize the red flags. You know what narcissistic abuse is. You understand what you have gone through and what you have experienced. So it kind of, you need to really trust yourself. This is where you connect back to you. And I hope that your therapist is helping you to move forward from this. And really be like your own best friend, your kind of person where you trust and believe in you. And I understand for some of us that can be a really difficult thing to do, because again, we were not taught this in childhood. So whilst we weren't taught this in childhood, you can do this for yourself. I know, little by little. Take some time out for you. Does that mean that could look like 5 or 10 minutes where you just put some calming music on and you're able to connect to you, like a meditation, for example, or maybe going to do, you know, some yoga, some exercise, go for a walk in nature, just be with your thoughts, just give yourself that space for you to be, for you to listen to you, to who you truly are and what you truly need. This is what is really, really important. And I think a lot of us don't give that to ourselves. So that's why, you know, when these toxic people show up in our lives, we're so much more kind of willing to give our time, our energy to that person, because what we're doing is we're taking that away from ourselves, because maybe our past has been too difficult to kind of have that realization, to kind of really think about it, because it is too much. But I encourage you, with the right help and the right support, that it would be good for you to really realize this and talk about this, to journal this with someone who is like a mental health professional, or someone who really understands the kind of work that really needs to be done here.